Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all well. I hope you can hear me. Please bear with me. We shifted into a new place and its network is really not okay, but we'll find ways of having it sorted as time goes by. Today we're going to do part 3 of team development, working with the team, to growing and developing teams, growing and developing distributors. When people join our businesses, what are we supposed to do to help them to grow? How do we help people grow? How do people become managers? How do you help people become senior managers? How do people become directors? Because the best way to actually motivate people to stay in the business, or the best way to have people stay longer in the business, is by helping them achieve the reasons as to why they have actually gotten started in the business. No one will ever leave a business that is working for them. No one will ever give up on something that is really surely giving them happiness and joy. So it's our responsibility as leaders, it's our responsibility as sponsors, that when people join the business, we need to see how do we help them stay in the business, how do we help them succeed, how do we help them to achieve the reasons as to why they've been able to get started. So I'll just go quickly to working with new people. Working with new people in the business. When someone joins the business, or when someone becomes, when someone buys from you a product, how do you work with them? How do you turn a prospective distributor into a successful leader? How do you turn a potential a buyer into a customer who will be buying from your products month after month, and even goes ahead to recommend as very many customers as possible? So the first point, the very, very first point to working with new people, those are new customers, new distributors. The very first point is building relationships. Building relationships, professional relationships with the people that you have actually gotten started into the business. The people always, I'm in a meeting, okay? Okay, someone is asking for ice cream this time. I don't know. Okay, so for you to be able to build a great customer base, for you to be able to turn someone into a customer, or someone from a prospective distributor into a great leader, you need to build relationships. They say that relationships will always keep people around you. People need to know that you care. That's why they say that people don't care how much you know, not until they know how much you care. We need to care for people. We need to be loving. People need to know that we care about them. People need to know that we really are not just about using them, not just about getting them to buy products, and people don't need to see people don't need to get the feeling like my sponsor or my the person who distributes to me products is just after making money for me, and that's it. If anyone is able to sense that as they are working with you, then you are going to lose them. You're going to lose the customer. you're going to lose the distributor. So relationship building is the starting point to working with a new person on your team, with a customer or a distributor. You need to build relationships. John C. Maxwell says that before someone can give you their hand to walk with them, the journey, you need to touch their heart first. Now, still that comes back to building a relationship, showing people that you genuinely care. You need to be a people person. You need to be a loving person. You need to be someone who loves people. You need to be someone who cares for people. That is how you are going to have people join the team, to have people to have more people recommend to you more people, to have more customers recommend to you more customers. So relationship building is the starting point. Number two is knowledge. Knowledge. Do you have something to offer? I mean, people would want to follow someone who they know has information. You need to know. You need to understand about these products. You need to know the business. For people, I remember quite well when I had just joined the business, I had so many people that joined my team. I was caring, I was friendly, but every time they actually discovered that I didn't know anything, I was also new in the business. I was like, it was like as if I was a blind person trying to lead of people. Sorry about that. Who is this? Okay. So it's very, very important that you work on being knowledgeable, you work on being an informed leader. We are in the current world whereby people want to follow someone who knows the way they are taking them. So you need to know about, I mean, let's say, look at, for example, when it comes to customers. Customers, it doesn't matter how good, it doesn't matter how good a doctor is, how friendly a doctor is, but if a doctor doesn't know he doesn't know what he's doing, I mean, no one would want to deal with that doctor. So we need to know, we need to be informed. We need to be informed. We need to know. You need to know so that you can help other people know. You need to understand the business so that you can help other people understand the business. You need to try out so many things. You need to do a lot of work so that you can gain experience. I'll give you a small hint. When you are looking at having a great customer team, people need to look at you as a consultant. People need to look at you, consider as a consultant. And how does that happen? Because you have a lot of information to offer. People will comfortably recommend their other friends. People will comfortably recommend their other prospects. They will recommend their relatives if they know that the person they are recommending them to is actually well informed. So you need to be knowledgeable about the business. You need to be knowledgeable about the products. Then the other thing of working with new people, you need to lead by example. You need to lead by example. When it comes to building a customer team, you need to use as many products as possible. You need to use as many products as possible so that you can actually inspire other people through your own personal testimony, through your own experience about the products. If you are going to lead a team and all these team members know that you don't use the product, that simply communicates that you don't trust your own product. And there's no how you don't trust your own product that you can actually help other people to trust the product. Because if you trusted it, you would use it. Take an example of cleaning products. The number one thing people will always comment about cleaning products, they will say, your products are so good, but they are very expensive. Trust me, from my own personal experience, the near-life cleaning products are not. They sound expensive when you're buying them, but they are very economical. They are actually, I wouldn't want to call them, I wouldn't want to say they are cheap, but you save money. You spend less money on the near-life cleaning products than you would spend on any other products out there. Now, how are you able to prove that? You can only prove that by using the products. So you want to lead a team, you need to lead by example. You need to use the products, you need to have product information. You want to teach your team how to sponsor, lead by example, sponsor. You want to teach your team how to develop managers and senior managers, lead by example. Develop managers, develop senior managers, sponsor, do the 3 in 30s. You want your team to step up, lead by example. Step up, then the rest of the team will also step up. In this business, it is monkey see, monkey do. Your team will only do what they have seen you do, not what you have told them to do. The other point on working with new people, duplicate yourself. How best do you duplicate yourself? You need to teach your people practically. You need to involve them. You need to do things what in their watch. They need to see you do things. Be practical with them. Involve them. We have a 4-step process in duplication. And usually when you sponsor someone onto the team, the first step is I do, you do the work, they do the watching. I do, you watch. When someone new joins the team, you do that, you do all the one-on-ones, you do all the presentations, you do everything while they are watching. Now, as you do this over and over again, you go to the second level. The second level is I do, you help. So the second level is when you start involving them into everything that is done. I do, you help. The second level leads us to the third level. And the third level is you do, I help. So this is when your distributor has been around for some time. They are doing things. You've been moving together. You've been working together. You've been doing so many things together. Now you need to let them do things while you are helping. And now the fourth level is you do, I watch, and then we have a meeting after. Fourth level is you do, I watch, we talk. So every new distributor who has joined and is interested in building the business, you need to take them through all of these things. And then the other thing that you do as you're working with your new people, have some fun together. Have some fun together. They say work without play makes John a dull boy. So you need to have some fun activities as a team. That's why as Lion Kings, we come up and say, let's go to Zanzibar, let's go to explore Tanzania. That's why we say next year, even looking at doing bigger things like going to Dubai, have fun together as a team. That's why in the past, we've been having dinners, step-up dinners, exciting events, we have conventions, all because we want to have fun together and we want to eat together. They say those who eat together stay together. Then the other thing, as you're working with new people, set some targets. Every single time someone joins your business, it's very important to have them set targets. It's very important to have them set goals. In fact, the very first step to working with someone in the business, they need to come up with their goals. They need to come up with their dreams. They need to come up with, whatever. Why have they joined? Why? And then you need to draw a plan together and say, okay, if we are going to achieve these goals, if we're going to achieve these targets every single month. So this month, we are starting the month of May. What's the goal? What's the strategy? What must we do to achieve? What can we achieve in this month of May? The Lion King's targets are 250 personal points every month, at 330 every month, and a step up every month. Communication. They say everything rises and falls on leadership. So you must grow as a leader. People are not going to follow you if you're not a leader. That's why we love to say that he who thinks is a leader without followers is only taking a walk. He who thinks is a leader without followers is only taking a walk. So you need to grow as a leader because everything rises and falls on leadership. And here's something else. Leadership rises and falls on communication. Leadership rises and falls on communication. Now, to succeed in the nature of work that we do, we all need to become good communicators. I've seen people who introduce people into the business. You introduce someone to the products, and that is the last time you ever speak to them. That is the last time you sit and you wait. When are they going to need other products? Communication. You need to have a communication system. You need to have a follow-up system. You need to be very good at record keeping. You need to have a customer book where you register all your customers. You need to have a diary where you record all your daily activities. Someone gives you a call, you write it down. Someone says, deliver next week on Thursday, you write it down in a diary. Have a communication system. Be a good communicator. Then get them in training. Get them in training. Get them in training. In this business, we learn in order to earn. I have never seen anyone who becomes a doctor by not attending medical school. I often see distributors who want to become directors, who want to become Ruby directors, who want to become president's team members, but they are not attending any trainings. That's close to impossible. In this business, you must train hard to earn hard. 80% of your growth in this business is dependent on training. In this business, we learn in order to earn. Attend every meeting that you qualify for. Every single meeting that you qualify for, attend. I've been in the business now for quite some time now, but if I am to remember clearly, the only trainings that I have missed, it is when I am in another place training. But I don't miss meetings. I oftentimes meet people who say, so how long does this train? Does someone have to train and train and train? No, look, the more you learn, the more you earn. At my level in the business, there is a lot of training that I have to go through to go to my next level. And when I get to that level, there still will be training for me to get to another level. That's why we say that when you're green, you grow. And when you're ripe, you rot. So training is very essential in this business. You want to succeed, you need to train. You need to learn in order to earn. Stay in training and get your distributors to attend training. Most importantly, how do you motivate a new person? Help them get what inspired them to join you. If someone joined because they wanted to use the products, make sure the products work for them, because a satisfied customer will always bring you 100 more customers. And an angry customer will affect other 1,000 customers. So when people join because they want to use the products, we need to make sure the products work for them, because when products work for them, they are actually going to recommend other people who are going to buy from us products. How people make money. If someone has joined the business, the best way to motivate them is when you help them make money. The best way to retain them is help them make money. The best way to get them motivated and excited about the business is help them make money. So ladies and gentlemen, as we continue to grow in business, as we continue to step forward, as we continue to grow, as we continue to become better and better, the skill of working with people, the skill of getting along with people, the skill of developing people, these are skills that we must acquire. These are skills that we need to work out to make sure that we can get. Because if we get them, then we're good to go. My biggest challenge today is to develop 1, 2, 3, 10 people to my level. When I get 10 people that have developed to my level, man, that's a commission of almost 100 million, actually over 100 million shillings. Actually, when I get 10 people, when I develop 10 people to get to where I am today, that's a commission between 50 to 100 million shillings a month. So that's why I'm saying that each of us needs to make it a priority to develop people, to work with people, to learn how to get along with people, to learn how to grow people. Because when we grow an organization, when we grow leaders, then we have a great business ahead. So thank you so much for listening to me. I wish you the very, very best as we come to the end of the month. Today was our first day of month end. Tomorrow is a public holiday. We'll be then Friday and Saturday. So if you are there and maybe you wanted to work to take your next step, you still have a number of days to go. Don't give up because it's possible. Thank you so much and have a blessed evening.